Hello. Today we're going to be talking about actor Ryan Gosling and why I believe he is such a talented actor. Born in Canada in 1980, Gosling got his start acting in family entertainment programs at 13. Some of those programs included The Mickey Mouse Club, Goosebumps, and Are You Afraid of the Dark? Wanting to break into the industry, Gosling moved towards more serious acting roles at age 19, and would soon find success in 2004's The Notebook. In 2011, Gosling would see even more success with Crazy Stupid Love, The Ides of March, and the critically successful Drive. Gosling's success as an actor has only continued with films such as The Nice Guys, La La Land, Barbie, The Fall Guy, and his upcoming film Project Hail Mary. Over the years, Gosling has demonstrated his acting prowess in a variety of films and genres, receiving notably 3 Academy Award nominations among his many acclaims. I would describe him as primarily a drama actor, as some of his best work is in those roles. We'll first start with an example of Gosling's early acting career, then move to 2 more recent films. Goosebumps. Greg Banks? Yeah. Do you know Sherry Walker? Sherry? Yeah, she's one of my best friends. When was the last time you saw her? Earlier today at her house. Do you know where she is now? At her house, I guess? No, she's not. She's missing. Disappeared. I knew it. What do you mean you knew it? I mean, I knew that something must have happened to her. Oh, how'd you know that? Well, because you guys are here. Are you telling us the truth? Say Cheese and Die is the 15th episode of the first season of the Goosebumps television series, premiering on February 9th, 1996. This episode stars Greg Banks, portrayed by a young Ryan Gosling. The basic premise of this episode is that some kids find a haunted camera that makes terrible things happen to whoever was photographed by it. We'll examine this scene where Greg is walking with his friend down a neighborhood street. One thing very apparent with this scene is that both actors are actively engaged with something they are holding in their hands. Gosling is examining this creepy camera, and the other kid is juggling for a while. Eye contact is at an all-time low, as the camera really takes the center stage for this scene. There are a few times people are about to have their picture taken by this creepy camera in this scene, and Greg has a very strong reaction to it every time. As he readies to steal the camera back from these bullies, you can see this anticipation start to build on his face, right before he grabs it and darts off. This is probably one of the few actually solid bits of acting in this entire episode. I wouldn't say that there's anything in this episode that truly made me have any revelations about Gosling as an actor. It's very interesting to look at though, and I can understand why after doing all these kid shows he would want to make a big change in his acting career and branch out to more mature and just generally good projects instead. Jumping ahead in his career, let's look at one of Gosling's more iconic performances. Drive. What do you do? I drive. Like a limo driver? No, like for movies? Oh. You mean all the car chases and stuff? Yeah. Is that dangerous? It's only part-time. In this film, Gosling stars as the character Driver, this stone-cold stunt driver by day, criminal by night, who opens his heart for his neighbor and her son. Gosling starts the scene with his usual tough guy persona, which mimics this earlier scene in the movie where he maintains a stone-faced, unbothered attitude throughout the entire opening heist. We start the scene in the car and everyone's getting prepared, and then it moves away from the car for a little bit as the 2 accomplices enter the pawn shop. And while they do, Gosling is in the car, keeping lookout. We see a little bit of subtle shifts as he awaits with this sort of a little bit of nervous anticipation, but mostly just normal anticipation at this point. Eventually, the first accomplice exits with the money, and he still maintains this attitude. We get a long shot zooming in on Gosling's face, doing this little Spielberg zoom in, as he awaits in nervous anticipation, which we see by the tightening of the grip on the wheel and a little bit of reaction from his face. Eventually, the second accomplice, a character named Standard, exits and is shot by the store owner. And you see this very jumpy reaction from his character, and it sort of breaks him out of that demeanor that he had taken before. You can see this very subtle change in expression, and then once more into panic as the store owner steps out of the store and shoots Standard in the back. As he gets back into the car and back out onto the road, he becomes more in his element, and you can see this on his face as the immediate panic starts to dissipate, and he's back in his element more, so he feels more comfortable despite what has just happened. One thing Gosling is very good at is these very subtle changes in expression without uttering a single word. His acting in this film helps to characterize the driver quite a bit, giving the audience a much deeper understanding of a character who is never given an explicit backstory of any kind in the film itself. Blade Runner 2049. Hello, handsome. What a day. You look lonely. I can fix that. You look like a good Joe. This film is led by the character K, a replicant Blade Runner who finds himself caught up in a very deep mystery. We'll be examining one of my favorite scenes from this film. The setup here is that K is really deep into this mystery, and he is at this point questioning if his memories are real or if they are just artificial implants given to him at birth, since he is supposedly a replicant. K begins speaking with his character, the memory doctor, in a sort of interrogative tone, as he is a police officer and he is investigating this mystery. But we'll see throughout the scene that his tone will start to shift, and by the end he will be taking on a much different role in the scene. He remains an observer as the doctor explains the process of creating memories, responding neutrally as she does. As she finishes her demonstration, he shifts his attitude very slightly, asking a question in a more hopeful way and less of a neutral nature that he was maintaining before. This hopeful way he asks the question works especially well, as the next line from the doctor mentions how the matter they are discussing is illegal and reminding him of his status as an officer of the law. I really like this choice from Gosling because it shows this change that's brewing inside of Kay, where he's not so much concerned with his duty and more of his own humanity. He awaits with a visibly hopeful anticipation as she determines the authenticity of the memory. Gosling's reaction to the revelation of the memory being a lived experience is a true feat of acting. We can see him repeatedly affirm to himself that the memory is real, slowly and slowly taking on a more shaky tone as he does, and instead of what you'd expect in this being a very happy moment for Kay, he flips out, screaming and kicking his chair across the room before exiting the scene. It is equally a shocking moment as it is a very powerful moment, and a prelude to the rest of the film's plot. I won't dwell on this film any longer, but there is a reason this is one of my favorite movies of all time. Gosling's acting being one of the strongest elements of the whole film. After analyzing these scenes, what can we really gather about Gosling as an actor? I'll tell you some of my biggest observations from these scenes. He's very good at letting a moment rest. Gosling is great at these neutral moments between the big actions, doing a lot of very subtle things that help build into the major beats of the scene. We can observe this in his demeanor before the big reveal of that Blade Runner scene, preparing the audience for his shift into this hopefulness, or in Drive as the nerves of this pawn shop heist build before Standard emerges. And we can even get a little bit of it as far back as Goosebumps, as we observed when he is preparing to swipe the camera. And directly going off that point, he has great reactions to big beats in the scenes. Ultimately, these neutral moments have to lead to the larger beats of each scene, and he does a great job here too with those reactions. And my final observation is that he performs just as well with a variety of genres, directors, and characters. While not a primary point in this video so far, I would be hard-pressed to talk about Ryan Gosling without at least mentioning his amazing range. He brings a strong performance whether he's doing a drama, an action film, or even playing the heel every scene of a movie. Point being, Ryan Gosling is a great actor. Shamefully, although I'm making this video, I have not seen all of his work at the time of recording this. But maybe one day I'll be a true Gosling head. Thanks for watching this video. Join me next time for a 3-hour in-depth analysis of Ken and the dangers of toxic masculinity.